What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and I'm back again with some more best smart home tech. So in this particular episode, I'm going to be talking more about different pieces of smart home tech that involve lighting. I didn't plan for it to be this way, but it just so happened to end up being this way when I compiled the list. So yeah, here we go. So for the first item on the list, it comes from a company known as Ring, and a lot of you might already be familiar with them as they are pretty popular for some of their security surveillance options that they have. But this particular item I'm going to be sharing with you is one that is newest to their lineup, and it's known as the Ring Floodlight Camera. So basically in the box, what you can expect is your Ring Flood Cam. You're going to get some tools, a base plate or a bracket, and some stickers to let people pretty much know that you're protected by Ring security. Now the lights can be flexed into positions as needed, so if you need to adjust the angle in which they are currently in, you have the option to do so. Now when it comes to installation, you don't have to be fearful because they pretty much give you everything in which you need inside of the box. And plus it doesn't require too much when you actually go to set it up. But in my case, I was a little nervous about going up the ladder to set it up on top of the garage, so my cousin was kind enough to install it instead for me as I got some video footage. After everything was set up, I then downloaded the app, which actually kind of walked me through the installation process very nicely and smoothly with video guides to help. But feature-wise, when it comes to this camera, it actually packs quite a bit. So the camera does operate over Wi-Fi, so you will need to place this as close as possible to your router so that it can get the best performance possible. But in the app, you have a few options such as manually turn the lights on or off, or triggering the option for it to detect motion. You can also set off a siren, which is pretty loud at 110 decibels, and is definitely enough to wake the neighbors and scare off any intruders. When it comes to the footage, you're going to get a nice high quality 1080p video feed when you select live view, and you can then enjoy a very wide field of view as well on top of that at about 270 degrees, which was actually enough to look over the entire yard, our neighbor's yard, and even the street. I also found it pretty handy that it has two-way audio, so that way you can talk to whoever is on the opposite end in the event you may need to relay a message about something, or maybe just to simply tell someone to leave the premises. Now in the bottom right, you have a few more options such as muting the sound from the feed or the plus symbol to do things like fire the alarm up. Now in the event you do want to ignore certain motions, you can do so by adjusting the sensitivity, setting a schedule for motion to be detected, or even selecting a zone in which you can ignore motion from. So if I wanted to ignore motion from my neighbor's yard, I could do so. You can also schedule your lights to come on and off at a certain time so you don't have to always toggle them on. And it's pretty cool that Ring actually shows you on their Twitter page, different ways in which their products have saved people from theft, intruders, or anything like that by sharing the video footage that was caught using their product lineup. But in the event that you're interested in getting your hands on one of these, Ring was actually kind enough to not only sponsor the video, but also offer you the opportunity to save $50 off of a basic kit, which includes the Ring video doorbell and the Ring floodlight cam. Or you can get $100 off an everyday kit, which is going to give you 2 floodlight cams and 1 Ring video doorbell. Or you could get $150 off of their deluxe kit, which is going to give you 3 floodlight cams and 1 Ring video doorbell. So definitely some opportunities to save some money there. Now next up on the list are these very cool lights that, I just think adds to any, office, home. And they're known as the Nano Leaf Aurora lights. So they're basically modular smart lighting panels that you can actually control from your phone. It doesn't require any hubs or anything like that, and it was actually fairly easy to set up. Like it literally took maybe 5 minutes, if that. So you have 9 triangular panels that connect to each other, and they use these little strips to do so. And in the box, you'll also get some double-sided adhesive. That way you can put it to the back of the panels and let them stick to the wall. And they held up pretty well. Now, whatever shape you decide that you're going to make, the panels do ultimately have to touch each other in some form or fashion. So you can't have a panel standing alone by itself. But ultimately, they're powered through this little hub here. So you will have a cable kind of dangling from the actual lighting kit. But if you have a white wall like I do, you really don't notice it. So I guess it all depends on where you're going to try to put it. So like I said, you can control these lights with your phone, and not only can you control it with your phone, but your voice as well. So you can speak commands using Siri to make the lights turn a specific color. Or you can start up your control center and either toggle the lights on and off, or change the brightness, or even just go ahead and change the color. But going into the actual app is where you unveil the most features. So you have these things called scenes, which is going to give the Aura pretty much a predefined color scheme to run off of. You also have the option to venture into an area to download more scenes in the event you don't like the ones that were already pre-installed. If you're going to have these lights in more than one room, you can control them based upon the room in which they're in. And you can also change each individual LED panel if you want. Plus, on top of all of that, you can make it flow through different types of transitions so that it has this flowing kind of effect, a highlighting effect, or a fade effect, and they even give you the definitions of what each of these will do within the app. And you also have control over the brightness in the event it's just too bright, or if you want to slow down the speed of the transitions as they change colors, you can do that as well. And just like the flood cam that I was talking about at the beginning of the video, you can also make these particular lights run off a schedule as well, so that they come on at a certain time or go off at a certain time. So lots of cool things in which you can do. And the last lights that I'm going to talk about in this video are actually Hue Lights, and a lot of you may have already heard of them, but because I get this question so much in my videos in regards to the light that I have like back there behind the couch, I figured I'd throw them in here as well to kind of answer that frequently asked question. So the light in which I have behind my couch is actually a Hue LED strip. And I just kind of have it taped across the back of the couch, and I have the couch pulled away from the wall so that you can see the light kind of like beaming onto the wall. So that's one thing I use in my videos. You also may have seen these lamps that I have behind me, which actually change colors as well, because those are also Hue lights. And then occasionally you might see an accent light in my video, and that is done with the Hue Go. So the nice thing about the Hue Go versus the other ones is that it's a portable light, so I can take that with me without having to have a power source. And when it doesn't have a power source, if I have it, to full capacity in terms of brightness, then it maybe lasts about an hour or so, but when I dim the light a bit, it does last a lot longer. But ultimately, you can lay the Hue Go on its back and it will bounce the light off of the wall as well as onto the ceiling. It has this little piece built into the back, which is going to function as a stand in the event you want to prop it up. And it's just a very versatile light. I like to use it pretty much to accent in my videos, and occasionally I might throw it somewhere else, but honestly, most of the time I use it in my videos. But in your everyday to-day life, I know some people will use it to sit out on the patio and bring some light with them. If they're trying to light a specific area in the room where it's just not convenient to place a lamp, scenarios vary, I guess. But I really love my Hue lights, not only to light my videos, but also because you can set scenes for these as well, for the lights to come on and off at a certain time. You can turn the lights on and off from anywhere within the world. You can even download third-party apps that will make the lights move in rhythm to the beat of the music. You can make them work in conjunction with IFTT, which is if this then that, so that maybe when it rains the lights turn blue, which I actually did. It became annoying, so I had to turn that off. Or maybe when your favorite team scores a point, the lights change a specific color. Or if someone tweets you, your lights change a specific color. So you can create these recipes within the IFTT app to make the lights do a specific action. So that's just kind of unlocking even more of what they can do for you. And if you have the latest generation Hue Hub, you'll actually be able to see your Hue lights within the control center on your iPhone. And then you can also tell the A word to turn your lights to a certain color. But because I have the first generation, all I can do is really tell her to turn them on and off. But overall, I really do like them. So these are just a few pieces of smart home tech that you can add to your collection. I've also done other videos regarding smart home tech. So if you want to know some more items in addition to this one, you can check that video out. I'm gonna annotate it in here and link it down below. But before you leave, be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe button. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.